Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is SL Gamer Guy, and in this video I'm following through with the other floor pan in the Impala. Yes, it's been a while, but I have been lazy. I have the floor pan here. I have the Impala that-a-ways. And also, yeah, don't mind the t-shirt. It's just there so I hold on. It's incredibly hot and I'm going to be using grinders and whatnot, so I put this under my welding jacket. No, my welding jacket doesn't fit me, but it was free. So, also this is nice. Keep the collar popping and stop stuff from hitting your neck. I forget your name. I'm sorry. Whoever left that comment, your name will be right here for a few seconds. Said, can you show how you removed the floor pan? Yes, I can show you how I removed the floor pan. He also said, well, it'll appear underneath that one, will you come install my floor pan? Well, I mean, anything's possible for a price, but more than likely, no. But I can show you how I did it. So, I'm going to take and run you through the process now, and then show you what I'm doing before. What I'm doing later. When I'm doing it. I'm a mess today. I'm always a mess. So, what you do is you take a piece of soapstone. Take a piece of soapstone. It's like chalk, but manlier. And you go underneath the car. And you see where the supports are. I'll show you the supports whenever I'm underneath there. So you mark out the supports with soapstone on the bottom. Then, you go around to the top and you mark out where the supports are as well. So you got on the bottom of the pan and the top of the pan. Then, you start, and I hate to say this, but you pull out the angle grinder with a zip disc on it. Cutting disc, whatever you'd like to call it. And well, you just start cutting steel away. However, if that were the case, it'd be fast and easy, but it's not. On the supports, so there are steel supports underneath it that the pan sits on top. They have a machine, I believe that this is the one they used back in the day, it's incredibly common still now. And I think they call it a pinch welder, or it's a spot welder, but I've always heard it referred to as a pinch welder. It's a big T with 2 points on it, and you stick the metal in between, it goes dink, and it squeezes it together and puts about, I think, like 100 amps through it, and it melts the two together. So you have little spots, about a little bigger than a standard eraser on the back of the number 2 pencil, of where the steel is fused together. Well, you have that every 4 to 6 inches, somewhere around there. And the only way to really get that out is there's 2 methods. An electric drill with a, what calls it, bimetallic bit. One used for drilling metal. Or, second option, which I myself have taken many times, if the steel is very thin, well, there are 2 tools that are used in tandem that get it out in a hurry. 3-pound hammer and a flat bar. You pry the edge of the steel up, you stick the flat bar underneath it, whack it underneath, and then if it's a little stubborn, you flip the bar around, stick it in, beat underneath and pry. And usually it'll go patang, and the steel pops up. You continue that until there's no more spot welds. You pull the old steel out, you take your angle grinder yet again, put a grinding disc on it, you grind the metal smooth, and then the previous steps I showed you, which I'll probably show you again on this one. Sandblast the hard to get bits. Take the grinder, put a wire wheel on it, grind off what's a little too stubborn to be sandblasted, if any, And then wipe everything down with acetone, and then use a combination of weld-through primer and the rust inhibitor, was it CR400 rust inhibitor? Let all that stuff dry, you take your new pan, you drill a bunch of holes to make a plug weld. So if you remember spot weld, two pieces of metal, you pinch it together, put some current through it, and they melt together. Plug weld, you drill out a hole, and then, so here's your hole, here's a piece of steel you put down, and you weld through the hole, and melt the two together that way. I mean, that's pretty much the only way you can do it, replacing it, unless you've got a pinch welder or a spot welder with 6-foot arms on the thing. I'm sure they make them, but I have not seen them. And if I haven't seen it, it doesn't exist. So, you gotta take and drill all the holes, put the new pan in, trim it to fit, plug weld it all together, and you're good to go. So, I'm gonna go start preparing the car. Yeah, see you then. So, as you can see, we have our DOT approved driver's seat. I got the Lincoln Century flux core welder. And here, well, here's the pan. I'm gonna bring you around this way, actually. So, we have the, this is what the pan looks like before it's replaced. It's not good. As you can see, this is the original pan. You can tell by the welds that it's Swiss cheese. All the sand is from sandblasting, so I'll sweep that out first. And that's what this thing's made out of. So, that's the problem. There's most of the interior. There's the trunk back there. Smells vaguely of mouse pee. Yeah, you guys know why I covered it in my last video. Probably emanating from the trunk. And, yeah, so, well, I guess I'm going to start working. Because this is the south, we check underneath the vehicle for snakes before we crawl underneath it. Looks good. An ATF leak, but, only a minor chance of fires. So, this is what you've got to work with. Sorry I'm holding this thing outside, I'll fix it in post, probably. That's a sheet of tin that someone has strapped down over it. Don't fix it this way, it traps water in between the stuff and it rusts out faster. This is the steel support I talked about. Cross member, I guess you could call it a cross member. So, we're looking towards the front of the car now. There's the transmission cross member. There's the transmission oil pan. And here's the support. There are the bolts for the seat mount. There's spot welds through here. Alongside there. And this is what you got to work with. This is your e-brake cable that goes to the rear drums. So you got to get that out. What I did on the passenger side is probably not recommended, but it's what I did anyways, is I spot welded it in between the support and there. But you can probably see it over there. That thing, focus. Yeah, focus. There we go. So, yeah, can't use this thing. That's what we're dealing with. We're going to take the piece of soapstone, we're going to scribe along the edges. Also, don't forget this one runs parallel. And we're just going to take and mark it. Also, that there, you have to cut it out. It's a piece of metal for the, I think it's a seat belt mount. So, here are the supports. You're going to have 2 lines. But you know, the sand has a purpose after all. Like so. Then, right about here, you have that other support. And we're just going to take and mark it, cut it out. Take you along on that journey as well. I'll go get a piece of soapstone. You get your soapstone. You crawl underneath the vehicular device. You scribe a line. Does the video quality feel like 2008 yet? Yeah. There we go. And same deal here. You put your line in. Yeah. There you go. Put your line here. And then you take and you come up here. This is the, it's a piece of plastic that contains the wires going to the back. You have to work around that. And you just go, And same deal here. And here. You put lines down. These are the spot welds that you gotta drill out. As you can see, I've already got them drilled out. It goes through the top pan and then down into the bottom one. Okay. I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, well, here we are, back again. Got the angle grinder loaded up with a cutting disc on it. No, I decided not to clear the sand out of it. It'll clear itself out eventually. And what we're going to do is just like I did on the other side. We're going to take a chunk out, we're going to pry it out like a like the, I don't know, top of a soup can, and keep going. So, here we go.
Focus on what's real, man.
And now, you got one section of floor pan. Also, you're going to go through a lot of cutting discs, and I mean a lot of cutting discs. That was brand new, and now it's practically wore out just from that, so buy them, buy about 20 of them, and you can get one pan done. Now, if you were running a professional shop, you probably have an air saw, plasma cutter, whatever, but I don't have a professional shop, so I'm stuck with this. And just like that, one disc is gone. Now I realize I probably put a little bit too much pressure on these things, but yeah, things are like 59 cents a piece. So that's not going to kill you, get the job done faster. Okay. And let's go.
Today, we honor a man who has been an inspiration to our citizens.
Okay, so, as you can see, we've got about, well, probably a solid third of the pan out. Here's the emergency brake cable. That was not welded on very well. Okay. And, yeah, so we still have to cut off this back portion, well, pry it off. And then we've got to take and, what I'll probably end up doing is there's a support here to here, and from here to here. There's two of them. So I'm going to take and cut straight down the center, and then I'm just going to take and using a 3-pound hammer and a pry bar, just start popping the spot welds out, and that's going to be the hardest part. And then from there I'm going to put the new pan in and trim it to fit, and we're going to make sure that I don't cut off too much steel up by the toe board, because though it needs to be replaced, I don't have replacement toe boards, and I still want this thing to be able to run and drive temporarily to move it around. So I'm going to keep going at this, and I'll start filming once I get to popping the spot welds loose. Okay, well, you got to cut here, you got to cut here. So we're going to take a 3-pound hammer and a flat bar, and we're going to start popping these spot welds loose. And plug a fan in. So I'm going to, I don't know, put some music over this or something.
Sorry, Snoopy. You can't go with us. Dogs aren't allowed on the school bus. Woof.
I don't know if this is going to be part of the same video or a separate video. We have the 1970 Impala. As you saw earlier, I was cutting out the driver's side floor pan. However, I ran out of cutting discs. So, this is now about a week later, maybe more. I have cutting discs. Lots of cutting discs. So, we are going to unstrap the canopy from the Impala and start hacking away yet again at the floor pan. This is where we left off. We have a hole. As you can see, I didn't follow my own advice. I cut into the support a bit, so I'm going to have to re-weld that back on. It's to wonder. It's not incredibly thick metal, so I might be able to use some scrap I have lying around. However, I mean, once the floor pan's in, it's in, so and I'm gonna have to think about that. And then doing just this, I wore out three cutting discs. So I'm gonna have to take and cut out there and around the transmission hump. As you see that little line that goes across it, that's where the floor pan meets up to the firewall. So I'm going to have to go around, probably with a drill, and try and pop the spot welds out like I did on the other side. And then cut down and around through to, right along there on the door, as much metal as I can, replace with a new pan. All the way back. And then, as you can see, there's the seam where the, I don't know what you call it, the seat pan meets the floor pan. I already drilled out a couple of the holes on there. So I'm going to cut and break as much of that out as I can, and then cut yet again around that support. And hopefully, if the weather holds out, I'm going to cut the new pan to fit so that I can sit in there and stop taking up all the room in my workshop. So, I am going to go put a cutting wheel on the grinder. And never mind, I'll probably start by knocking that support out right there. Just yet again with a hammer and flat bar, and then I'll start cutting out the front. Essentially, I like to cut from the inside out, so that way you can take out a lot of metal quickly and then focus on very carefully cutting the seam around the outside. As you can see, I got a little bit overzealous and didn't transfer my markings correctly on the support beam, and look where that got me. So I'm going to have to now repair work because I did it sloppily the first time. So take your time, go slow, and don't rush it. Okay, well, I've finished cutting out the driver's side floor pan. For the most part, still need to like trim around the edges and stuff like that, but I'm calling it quits for the day. Have some rain coming in, but this is what it looks like. We've got, what is this, smoke on the water? Okay, have the radio going, of course, because you can't work without good classic music on a classic car. There's supports. I mean, it's a hole. So, as you can see, this is it's a dirty, nasty job, but, I mean, it's gotta get done. Yeah, I can't get my tripod in here. Okay. Transmission hump. Less clean than I was hoping for. I'm gonna have to work that back into shape. The driver's side toe board is pretty much gone because someone put a piece of tin over it. Supports, as you can see, that's what it should look like. That's what happens when you go too quickly and don't pay attention. Gun the water and fire in the sky. Yeah. So that's that. I'm going to gonna take the new pan, put it in there, and see if it fits. Okay, I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna have to hurry because rain is on the way, but this is what it should look like. You'll notice it's not sitting in there properly. That's because you gotta cut around that support there. You have to make a little notch so it'll sit down in there. And then the rest of this will just fall right in place. And by that I mean with some hammer and screws you can fit it down in there and tack weld it. So I have got, jeez, I'm tired. I'm gonna hurry and clean this up and head inside before it starts raining. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Hopefully I answered the question as to how to cut out the floor pan. Thank you very much for watching. You've been awesome. My name is SL Gamer Guy, and I will see you in the next video. Stay awesome.